This is Unit 3, Lesson 3 on rotations on the coordinate plane. So we're going to review from 8th grade. So this is the second part of the lesson where we are going to develop the rules for rotation. So you have a choice with rotations. You can either remember the rule or you can develop the rule using your paper and turning your paper. So I will show you how to do this turning your paper. Okay. So we're going to take the point 4, 2, which is the same on all 4 of these examples, and rotate it as stated. Since all of these degree numbers are positive, we know we are going counterclockwise. Okay, so let's say that I have my grid with my point on it. Let's call this point A. And we know that this is 4, 2. And I consider that this is my piece of paper here, right? So we know that the corner of the paper is 90 degrees, so I'm going to rotate my paper. Again, this is positive, so we know that this is counterclockwise, which means in that direction. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Let's try that again. Okay, so my horizontal lines are vertical, my vertical lines are horizontal. So now that I've rotated my paper 90 degrees, I'm going to remake this my origin. And again, the axes have reset themselves. So I can get A prime as -2, comma, +4. So I have the rule now under a rotation about the origin 90 degrees on an XY point. Well, if I look at what happened, well, they switched places and the y negated. So -yx. Right? So I could figure out by just turning my paper and recounting the points for that new point, A prime, what the rule would be. And then I can apply that to all the other ones. Or I can just write down what all the new points would be. So let's go back to the note sheet for a second. And we know that this is going to be -2, comma 4, which is up here. So there's A prime. Okay, let's do the same thing for 180. So I have 180, and again, that's counterclockwise, 180 degrees, which we know is the same as clockwise, 180 degrees. So it doesn't matter which way I turn my paper, I just know that I'm going to turn my paper twice. Because there's 2 groups of 90, right? I'm going to rotate it 1 quadrant, 90 degrees. I'm going to rotate it a 2nd quadrant, 90 degrees. So again, after I've rotated it, this is 0, 0. So now I'm going to go, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, -4. And down, 1, 2, -2. So I now have my new point. A was 4, 2. Our new point after rotation of 180 degrees, it doesn't matter which way you turn it, is now -4, -2. So if I have a rotation about the origin of 180 or -180 degrees on a point xy, well, what did that do? It just negated them. That's going to be -x, -y. So again, I can develop the rule by just turning my paper and recounting using that new position as my axes. Okay, so let's go back to the notes. So we know the point is going to end up over here. So if this is A prime, and this is -4, -2. What did I put on here? Oh, we started with +4, and we got -4, -2. Good. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing for 360. I'm sorry, not 360. 360 is going to be easy. If we rotate fully around, we're going to be back where we started. So if this is A, this will also be A prime. So we're just going to fill that in 4, 2. If you make a full circle, you are facing the same direction you started with. All right, for 270, again, we'll show you how to do that with the paper. Okay, so we know that a rotation about the origin 270 degrees means we're going to go counterclockwise. So I can turn my paper 3 times. Or we also know that if I rotate in the opposite direction 90 degrees, which would be clockwise, I'm going to get the same answer. Doesn't matter to me, so 270 means I'm going to rotate 3 times, because 3 times 90 is 270. Or I can go in the opposite direction, 90 degrees. Again, once I rotate that, I've recalibrated my axes. So now I'm going to get A was 4, 2. A prime is 2 in the positive direction, -4.